The Trump divorce, how Melania lost 200 pounds of flab. Melania Trump must do what dozens of buildings around the world have done and take the Trump name off. Is there anyone left who can check Donald Trump? Yes, Melania. Your unhappiness is obvious. You despise his creepy little monkey fingers touching your hand.
Yes, folks, this is all the ongoing drama in the United States this week. Jimmy Kimmel has taken yet another dig at the former incoming First Lady, Melania Trump, and the debate just got fiery.
She's not showing up tomorrow. Is she going to move back into the White House? What do we know?
Well, there's a lot of speculation right now, and I've heard from a lot of sources that they don't expect her to be there full time. They say that she'll come in, they insist she'll be there for big events, talking about state dinners, big trips, big meetings, but that she's not going to set up a full-time residency.
She'll be wherever he isn't. That's how it'll go.
Kimmel has long speculated that Trump's marriage is loveless, and continued by sharing that Melania is not expected to be at the White House full-time during Trump's term. Well, according to the customs and traditions, President Joe Biden invited President-elect Donald Trump and his wife Melania for a tea meeting at the White House. However, according to recent reports, Melania refused to accept the customary invitation, citing her prior scheduled plans. This is the first time in the history of the United States that the incoming First Lady has refused to sit down with the outgoing President and the First Lady. People have been shocked by this report, but Jimmy Kimmel obviously had a lot to say. During his infamous monologue, he targeted Melania and Trump's relationship by saying, "She'll be wherever he isn't. That's how it'll go." When the First Lady treats the White House like it's an Airbnb, is that a good sign for the relationship? Kimmel has repeatedly highlighted that Melania does not like Trump and would do anything to run away from him. Kimmel attached a video of the Trump family being photographed with Elon Musk, but what's peculiar was the fact that Melania was missing from the family portrait. This has made people question whether Melania is even ready to go back into the public eye.
Perfect. That's great. Why don't we do a family shot? Elon, Ivanka. You have to have a picture with your boy. Yeah. We have to get Elon with his boy.
Absolutely.
That's a gorgeous, perfect boy.
Tristan's almost enough.
That's a great picture.
Now, did you notice who was not in the photo? Melania was not in the photo. Elon was. Melania. You see what you get for $100 million? Meanwhile, poor Eric is like, why won't the gate open? Someone let me in.
But don't you think this debate started after Trump became the president-elect? Because Kimmel had loads to say even when the election campaigns were being held. On the 27th of October 2024, Melania made an exceedingly rare appearance on the campaign trail when she delivered remarks at her husband's rally in New York City. She stood on stage and embraced former President Trump as he arrived for his speech. The former First Lady has hardly attended any public campaign events with her husband, but the Madison Square Garden event was the first rally she has appeared at during this cycle. Guess what? Kimmel slammed Melania once again for her accent and delivery of speech. Why don't I show you? Well, the least we can say is, this is pretty embarrassing.
Elon and Tucker and the Hulkster and Haba Haba didn't make up one hell of a season of Dancing with the Stars. Look who else showed up.
Good evening, New York City. Our hometown. Let's seize this moment and create a country for tomorrow.
Yes, let's size this moment. It looks like a 48 regular to me. I don't know. These two lovebirds interact with each other. Their chemistry, it's positively smoldering.
Please welcome our next Commander-in-Chief, my husband, President Donald J. Trump.
Defend herself today.
To me, there's nothing more beautiful than watching a man and his wife try not to smudge each other's bronzing cream, you know? She greets him like he made a delivery to her art gallery. This appearance, it was as if...
Oh, and once again, Jimmy couldn't keep his hands off Melania and Trump's relationship. People all around the United States appreciate Kimmel for his sense of humor, but some might think this is a little too much. One such person commented, I know you guys don't like Donald Trump, but this is going too far. Everyone deserves respect. But guess who jumped in to save Jimmy Kimmel? You're right, it was Bill Maher. In an old video that resurfaced online, he was seen mocking Melania in the most ruthless way possible. He not only made fun of her Slovenian accent, but also called her a gold digger. Well, precisely. Everywhere you go, you will see Bill and Jimmy bullying Melania for having a loveless marriage, as speculated by many people. But we wonder, what does Trump think of this public humiliation? We are dying to see how he reacts to this.
I hope I inspire little girls everywhere to marry for money. Oh, that's so sweet. Every time I look at my husband, I'm reminded of the Slovenian national dish. a fat, greasy sausage filled with cheese. That Donald Trump, even if you like him, is powerful enough as a past president, a likely future president, and, to be perfectly frank, a cult leader. America doesn't need a demigod.
But before Trump could react, Bill took to his YouTube platform and made it clear that Trump could be a cult leader. He said this after an assassination attempt on Donald Trump had sent shockwaves throughout the entire country. It had just gone 1812 on Saturday, the 13th of July, and Thomas Matthew Crooks, having already been flagged by the police as suspicious, had managed to climb onto a warehouse roof, line up his AR-15 style rifle, and fire a volley of bullets toward the former president. What happened in just a few moments at Butler Farm Showgrounds would shake American politics and leave many asking how a man was able to enter the grounds with a powerful gun, climb to a firing spot unchallenged, and get within an inch of Trump's life. This was when people started bringing religion into this scenario and said the hand of God was there. While the majority agreed with this, Bill Maher said he was pretty anti-religion and had a completely different view on this matter.
Enough is enough with interpreting every random event as a DM from heaven.
Maher takes a jab at Trump whenever he can. He doesn't just mock Trump's hair or tweets, but digs deep and strikes where it hurts the most. His marriage. He mentioned how Melania wanted nothing to do with Trump and seemed utterly disgusted by him.
Because of people like, if I'm being honest, me, I do a lot of mocking and belittling, and it isn't always productive. Am I biased against Donald Trump? Yes. Do I think I have good reasons for being biased against him? Yes. And I'm probably wrong, but I think when you hear some of those reasons, you might agree with me even just a little bit. Now, I assume you're watching this because...
But what Jimmy Kimmel said about this was beyond hilarious, and some even think it might be true. According to the comedian and analyst, people often threaten to move to Canada after a presidential election if they don't like the results. Surprisingly, Google searches for moving to Canada increased by 5,000% recently after Kamala Harris faced a crushing defeat in this year's election. While it seems like a vague point to make, Jimmy used it to his advantage and unfolded Trump and Melania's dirty laundry. Here's what he said.
Most of all, it was an absolute disaster of a night for Melania. But it was a really good night for Putin and for polio and for lovable billionaires like Elon Musk and the bros up in Silicon Valley and all the wriggling brainworms who sold what was left of their souls to bow down to Donald Trump. But you know what? I'm very anxious right now. According to Google, searches for moving to Canada skyrocketed during the election. Google searches for moving to Canada were up by 5,000%. Now it's just Melania doing it over. Moving to Canada after an election we don't like is one of those...
Ever since this debate erupted, people have wondered what would happen to Kimmel and Maher if Trump ever lost his patience. But surprisingly enough, Maher didn't seem to care who he was up against. In a recent video, he didn't seem to take Trump seriously at all. He suggested that aborting Trump from the presidential campaign should be as easy as banning abortions is for him. People from all around the world were shocked by Maher's boldness, and some even complimented him on this. One such fan commented, "Good job, Bill. Your humor is what keeps me going every single day."
Trump announced his run nearly 2 years ago. Did anyone say, good, I need to hear more about this Donald Trump? If he can support forcing a woman to choose whether to have an abortion in 6 weeks, we can choose whether or not to abort him in 12.
Some think Maher went overboard with his statements and became a bit too personal when he gave Melania a bit of friendly advice. Can you guess what he did? Well, he advised her to divorce Trump because what's the point of living with someone you strongly despise? Why feel trapped in a marriage that you don't even want to stay in? But Bill didn't stop right there.
And finally, new rule, Melania Trump must do what dozens of buildings around the world have done and take the Trump name off. So far,
he also suggested Melania could stop Trump from doing bizarre things by rejecting him in bed. According to the TV show host, it is a tale as old as time, and ancient Greeks would stop going to war because their women denied them in bed. I mean, is it just me who thinks this might be going a little out of hand? Because how is this subject related to politics or presidential elections at all?
it's not anti-feminist to say that in addition to doing everything men can do intellectually, women also have another power, the power of the ultimatum. Getting men to change their destructive ways by threatening to leave them, humiliate them, or cut them off in bed, it's a tale as old as time.
However, this time people didn't bash Bill because they knew how Trump would just pick another one out of the catalog. They supported Bill when he asked Melania to kick Trump out. Frankly speaking, I could not stop laughing when I saw Melania jerking off Trump's hand in public. Bill calls it public embarrassment, not for Trump, but for Melania.
Happiness is obvious. You despise his creepy little monkey fingers touching your hand. So kick him to the curb. Slap away that hand for good.
But once again, all this drama comes down to one thing: Trump's failing marriage. Somehow, Melania finds herself in this muddy mess and always gets advised for divorce. Maher said her husband is ruining the world, so she should ruin him by running away with a buddy. Honestly, I don't care how bad things are politically, no woman deserves to be ridiculed like this.
Oh, I'm probably dreaming and Melania isn't going to do any of this, but what if she had someone to do it with? Divorce is always easier in pairs. What if you had a buddy, Melania?
Well, this is all the drama you find yourself in when you're running for the presidential elections, or maybe this drama exists only because Trump exists. You never know. What do you think about Melania and her apparent lack of interest as the 47th First Lady of the United States? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon so you are notified as soon as we upload our next video. Thanks for watching.